when I was growing up, before school, my dad and I would drive from Logan to the Gold Coast and go surfing. And I spent a lot of my youth on the beach at Surfers Paradise getting up to mischief. It is absolutely surreal to watch a horror film and see a character walk into the same 7-Eleven that you've been in 100 times. It is really weird watching them drive past a park that you and your friends have drunk goon in. I could smell the banana boat and fresh tattoo ink that is the smell of the Gold Coast emanating through the screen. It's so wild. This movie shows all the beauty and all the griminess of the sunny Gold Coast. This is a non-negotiable. If you live on the Gold Coast or have lived on the Gold Coast, you have to see this movie. You will see so much stuff that is your everyday. It is wild. And if you don't go see it, I'll have to take your Southport Sharks membership card, and that means no birthday cocktail for you. Tucker, the villain in this film, he drinks 4X while wearing a Hawaiian shirt and stubbies and feeding people to sharks. He even does one of the best dance numbers in horror to backed by Evie Let Your Hair Hang Down by Stevie Wright. Like, this movie is so Aussie. This is now my favorite shark film, right? Like, sorry Jaws, sorry Deep Blue Sea. Like, I loved Dangerous Animals, and I know that's going to rub people the wrong way. I know people are going to be like, how dare you say that about Jaws? Jaws is a masterpiece. It is a horror masterpiece. It's one of the greatest films of all time. I get it. I understand. I love Jaws. Jaws is an icon, right? Like, I even have a Jaws tattoo. Do you have a Jaws tattoo? I love Jaws. Have you watched Jaws recently? Better yet, have you watched Jaws recently with someone who's never seen Jaws before? It's a tough watch, right? It is like showing a teenager a meme you really liked from 2006. The timing is just off. It just doesn't live up to the modern timing. Bruce is janky as hell. The female characters are like wafer thinly written. The townspeople all have IQs that are like room temperature, and its portrayal of sharks is brutal, right? Like, if someone comes to me and goes, "Hey, I've never seen Jaws. I want to watch a shark film. What should I watch?" I'm probably not going to point them towards Jaws, just because if you don't have a connection to it already, it does feel like an old film, right? It's probably the same feeling my dad got when he showed me The Exorcist for the first time when I was an early teenager. He showed me The Exorcist, and I laughed all the way through it. I thought it was quite silly, and he was sort of like, he was surprised because that's a movie that fucking scarred him. It just doesn't hit the same anymore. If someone wants a shark film, I'm probably not going to direct them to Jaws just because of its old-timey trappings. That being said, Dangerous Animals, it is heavily inspired by Jaws. Sean Byrne loves Jaws, you can tell. He all the shark action, they don't show a lot of it, which is just like Jaws. It's got great characters, it's got a banging soundtrack, and best of all, it reveres sharks. The villain in this movie is like a mix between beautiful, saintly Steve Irwin and Mick Taylor from Wolf Creek. Like, they've melded those two characters together, and that's what you get when you watch this movie. If you're looking for a modern shark flick, I don't think there's much out there that beats Dangerous Animals. Now, I love Sean Byrne, as you can tell, right? Like, The Loved Ones is one of my favorite films. He's one of my favorite directors. If you haven't seen The Loved Ones, it's a Aussie-inspired stalker flick. It's fucking great. I think I'm the only person on earth who has a Loved Ones tattoo. I have the prom crown, and the drill. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you know of someone, or you yourself have a Loved Ones tattoo, please reach out. But I think I'm the only person on earth who has that. And then he went on to make this like Pickman's Model inspired heavy metal movie called The Devil's Candy in 2015, and it's fucking brilliant. And then he just dipped. And I thought he'd gone the way of Joel Anderson, who made Lake Mungo. Joel Anderson made Lake Mungo, and just, that's it. He's done. And I thought that's what was going to happen. And then a couple of months ago, I hear that there's this shark movie coming out. Jai Courtney's been slated to play the killer. It's set and filmed on the Gold Coast, and Sean Byrne is the director. That is like, I don't know what karma balanced that. I don't know what good thing I did to get that, but it was like Christmas to me. And I was a little nervous about seeing the movie because I wanted it to be good. God damn, I wanted it to be good so bad. And I went with a group of friends who know nothing about Sean Byrne, hadn't seen any of his other movies. And we all fucking loved it. We really love this movie. This movie's fun as hell. It's just good fun. Dangerous Animals follows lone surfer Zephyr as she travels her way across the picturesque vistas of the GC in her van, eating shit tons of bread rolls, shoplifting, and surfing. One day while she's surfing Snapper Rocks, which is a real place, it's one of the best surf beaches in Australia, she becomes the fascination of the shark-obsessed Tucker. Tucker runs cage diving tours out on his boat for tourists. What Zephyr doesn't know, though, is that not many people come back from Tucker's tours. And Tucker is obsessed with the idea of taking Zephyr out on his boat and giving her a front row seat to what he likes to call the greatest show on earth. This movie is so fucking fun. Something that Sean Byrne does in all his movies is that he makes really disturbing stories really fun to watch. There are many parts of suspense and intense shark-related violence and gore, but there are also like equal scenes of fun and levity and humor, mostly around how absurd everything is, how absurd Tucker is as a character, Jai Courtney's Tucker. This is the best I've seen Jai Courtney. This is the best role he's ever done. He is just, I mean, Tucker's day job is to be a tour guide, right? So he has to be likable and charismatic and knowledgeable. And he does that really well in this. He just also happens to be a fucking psycho on his days off when he's in the open water, right? There are so many films I watch, horror movies that I watch, where the killer turns out to be a weird, antisocial creep of a person, but they somehow manage to hold a customer service job or a customer-facing role. And I can never reconcile that because I'm like, you couldn't keep that mask up the whole time, right? It just wouldn't happen. It would slip. Not here, because Tucker is charismatic, he is likable, he's knowledgeable, he's fairly supportive of his like customers to a point. But yeah, on his days off, he just goes fucking ballistic. But you get it. You're like, yeah, I can see why people like this guy and would want to go on a shark tour with this guy. Which leads me to like another great strength of this movie is Hassie fucking Harrison. She is brilliant as Zephyr. I feel like horror is one of the few genres where we celebrate the villains way, 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 way more than we celebrate the heroes. And it's good to have a tough, capable, likable young protagonist to root for. She does more than scream and drop keys at inopportune times. She's really good in this. Shout out to Josh Houston as well as Moses. Where the fuck did they find this guy? This guy looks like he was built in a lab. He is Moses as a character is great. He is the wholesome masculine yin to Tucker's bogan narcissistic yang. Josh Houston, however, is built like an anime character. He is like, he's been taken out of the Giga Chad meme and given life. The man is distractingly handsome to look at. He's like when I think one of the first times you meet him, he's like walking out of a shop, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck? And I looked at my mate, and my mate's like, who the fuck's this guy? It's handsome man. Now to the other main characters in this story, and that is the sharks themselves. Jaws was a PR nightmare for sharks, right? There is a wonderful documentary called Sharksploitation, which goes into the impact of Jaws and shark movies on sharks as a species and the decimation of their population. After Jaws came out, there was this really big wave of testosterone-fueled shark culling and like sport fishing, and it greatly impacted shark populations everywhere. So much so that like Steven Spielberg and Peter Benchley, who wrote Jaws, the book, have both come out and publicly apologized for that, even though they probably don't have to. It's not really their fault. It's fucking idiots who watch the movie. But, you know, Benchley even went on to, like, become a shark conservationist in later life and, like, championed the protection of sharks as a species. But that's how big the impact was. And Dangerous Animals never falls into that trap. It firmly points the finger at the horrendous nature of man, and shows how fucking cool and beautiful sharks are. Lots of the shark footage in this movie is documentary footage, which makes sense because all the shark scenes, bar one, which I will get to later, are fucking brilliant. They're really, really good. Even though sharks are Tucker's weapon of choice, you never find yourself blaming the sharks. They're just doing shark shit, which I really like because I think that's probably the widely held concept now, at least in Australia. I think Steve Irwin probably had a lot to do with that too. As a population, we sort of understand shark attacks a bit more. We're a bit slower to go like kill that shark. I have a dive license. I have dived in open water with sharks many times of all shapes and sizes and species. And there is, when you're in the water and you see a shark coming, there is a brief moment of panic, as there should be. They're apex predators, right? They're majestic, but they are built to kill. That is what they do. And then, you know, you sort of just have to relax because you realize, like, what the fuck am I going to do? If the shark wants to eat me, it'd eat me. And they never do. They're not even really that curious. Yeah, I've had octopuses fuck with my gear more than I've ever had sharks. And I think this film tackles sharks with that vibe. I think it's a very surfer way to tackle sharks, and that is like, hey man, we're just in their area. Like, they're just doing shark shit, not really their fault. And I really, really like that in a shark movie. Now, while I absolutely love this movie, there is one glaring problem I found with it, and that is there is a scene where a shark jumps out of the water and the CGI is janky as all fuck. And because the other shark scenes in this movie are so good, it sticks out like a sore thumb, right? One of the first things my friend said to me when we walked out of the cinemas was like, why did they do that weird shark scene with jumping out of the water? And I get it. I know it's tongue-in-cheek because Sean Byrne watches a lot of shark movies and likes shark movies, and every single shark movie has that cheesy, like, the shark jumps out of the water scene in it. You've probably seen it in pick any shark movie, it's in there. So I do know why they put it in as a bit of like an homage, but like, it just looks janky as fuck. The CGI is not good in it. And I wish, if they hadn't done that, literally every other shark scene in this movie is so good and so well done. It just makes that one look even worse by comparison. If they'd all been shit scenes with janky CGI, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But all the scenes are so good until that one scene. And it doesn't go for very long, but it's annoying because it was almost perfect. Another thing is this film, while I didn't have a big problem with it, this film doesn't give you a lot of closure. It doesn't wrap everything up neatly. At the end of the film, you don't know where everyone is sitting and what's going on with everyone completely. And I could see some people having a problem with that. I don't, but I do know that people are like, oh, but I want to see what happened to blah and blah. And there's a bit of that in this. Overall, though, a banging soundtrack, stellar performances, one of the greatest villain performances, I think. I think it's so much fucking fun. And intense shark scenes that are good. What more could you want in a shark movie? Sean Byrne, keep making movies, I'll keep throwing money at you. Let's never break up again. I recommend watching this if you love shark movies. I think this is the best modern shark movie we've got. I think it's fucking great. If you love sharks in general, good on you. Steve Irwin would think you're a little beauty for that. Good for you. If you love charismatic villains, I know, once again, like I said, horror, we love celebrating the villains. This has one of the funnest villains in it, in Jai Courtney's Tucker. It's so good. If you live or have lived on the Gold Coast, this is a non-negotiable. If you like horror movies and you lived on the Gold Coast, you'll love this film. I do not recommend watching this if serial killer movies or shark movies are a no-go. I understand that some people are really terrified of sharks. It seems to be in northern hemisphere countries, I've found, more than southern hemisphere countries. I think that's probably because we spend a lot of time at the beach. But I do understand. So if shark movies are a no-go for you, don't go into this one. This is a very shark movie. If you hate movies where they know the genre and they're having fun with it, like they're very aware of what they're doing, like it's not as played as seriously, you might have a problem with this one, because this is... Sean Byrne knows shark movies. It's a really good movie, but he is playing with the genre. He knows what beats to hit. He homages the shark movie really well, and it's fucking great, but I know that's not everyone's taste. Now, it's hard not just to recommend like every single shark movie in this section, but I'm going to do is recommend a funny, silly, underseen gem, and that is Bait from 2012. It's a movie about a flash tsunami that hits the Gold Coast and basically traps a bunch of shoppers in this like grocery store with a 4-meter great white shark. Now, this movie is fun as hell, and it's intended to be taken that way. So if you like shit like 47 Meters Down or Under Paris or Crawl, like they're a bit sillier, this is in that vein. It also shares a lot of connective tissue with Dangerous Animals, even if it doesn't share the quality, right? It's a shark movie that's set on the Gold Coast. It has Xavier Samuel in it, who is the final guy in The Loved Ones, Sean's first film. And as a bonus, it even has Shani Vincent, who is Erin in You're Next in it. So like a lot of horror, like royalty there. It's one of the more fun shark movies that you've probably never seen, even though like it's got janky CI. It's just a fun fucking watch. It's so silly, but it's such a fun watch, and it's just got a lot of connective tissue with Dangerous Animals. So I couldn't help but recommend Bait 2012. If you haven't seen it and you've seen every other bloody shark movie, check out Bait. Now my second recommendation is completely based on the strength of the villain performance. Like Tucker, this movie has a bad guy that is he's funny, he's weirdly charismatic, he's downright fucking scary at points, and that is Patrick Bateman from 2000's American Psycho. This film is probably closer to a comedy than it is a horror, and I'm pretty sure it was written with that in mind. But I will tell you something that's really scary about American Psycho is how many fucking idiots that watch it and think Patrick Bateman's the man. Like, it's about a charming, sexy businessman who maintains a safe corporate facade during the day, but does heinous, horrendous things to prostitutes and homeless people and co-workers at night. But the villain performance is an all-timer, and it launched the career of Christian Bale and Mary Harron. So and you know, like I said, so many dickheads are like, oh, you know, the real... what you're supposed to get from this is how cool Patrick Bateman is. No. The real crux of that movie is how the fuck he can fit in with corporate America. It's a really good movie. It's a true fucking banger. I absolutely loved it. I love American Psycho. It's one of my favorite movies. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It does hold up too. I watched it very recently and was like, oh, it's still grimy and gross and a bit of a tough watch in a good way. It's fucking great. That's it. Let me know what you think. Have you seen this one? Did you like it? Have you seen any of Sean Byrne's other movies? But The Devil's Candy, I think The Loved Ones is getting quite a bit of love now, but The Devil's Candy, especially, it's actually just hit Shudder, The Loved Ones, so go see it if you got Shudder. But The Devil's Candy almost never gets mentioned, and it's fucking great, especially if you love metal. If you love metal, it's about a family that's got they're like this cute little emo goth family. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. If you've seen Jaws recently for the first time, let me know if you think it holds up. I'd be very interested because, yeah, I had an experience where I was showing it to my nephew and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of embarrassing a little bit. As much as I love Jaws, this is kind of, it's aged. It has not, I don't think time's been kind to it. Let me know in the comments if you like this one, and hopefully I'll see you next week for another review. Peace.